Hello everyone, Trainer Diode here, welcoming you to another video. Today, we'll be going over my favorite starter in a completely original, totally not overused video format in the past few months. Yeah, that's right, I'm making a tier list. This time, I'll be focusing on the base form of the starters, and working my way up to their final evolutions. These Pokemon are the first companions you can get when you start your journey in a new region. And these base forms usually help you decide who to pick if you're going blind into a new adventure. On the one hand, people might prefer the water starters, no matter how they look or how they may perform in battle. Same with the grass types or the fire types. A lot of trainers wait until the final evolution is revealed and make a more informed decision though. Regardless of your method, we tend to follow a pattern when it comes to choosing the starters, but I'll just let the list show you what I mean. Before we begin, I'd like to explain how my tier works. The S tier includes my absolute favorites. These are Pokemon I usually pick when replaying the games and that I have some sort of attachment to. The A tier has Pokemon I really like for this or whatever reason. The B tier is the average tier. I don't love this Pokemon, but I don't hate them either. The C tier is my meh tier. I'm generally indifferent to these Pokemon. And the D tier is the D tier. We don't talk about the D tier, but I have to for this video, so hate on me all you want. Enough about the telling part of this video. Time to actually show you guys my tier list for the base form of the starter Pokemon. We begin with the S tier. Squirtle was my first Pokemon ever. Well, I got yellow, so technically Pikachu was my starter. But as soon as I got Squirtle in Vermilion City, I had to put it on my team. The Squirtle squad in the anime was also pretty awesome. I got blue version a while later and chose Squirtle as my starter, and I had a blast playing through the game with it. Surf and Strength were useful for accessing hidden areas in the game, and with Squirtle I had access to both. I'll get more into its evolutions in the next videos, but honestly, Squirtle is awesome. It has a great simple design that totally works, and it's absolutely adorable. Cyndaquil was my first pick for Gen 2. I fell in love with it. It just stood out to me from the other two. The fire on its back gave so much attitude to such a bashful looking Pokemon. I've always liked spiky mammals, and Cyndaquil fit that bill. I had no idea what fire types would be appearing in Gen 2, so I had to make my first pick matter. Luckily, according to a lot of people, Cyndaquil is the best pick for a Gen 2 playthrough, and I absolutely agree. So, I heard you like... Yeah, I like Mudkip. Actually, I love Mudkip. It's absolutely adorable in the game, in the anime, and basically everywhere else. The other options were a chicken and a lizard, so I chose whatever the heck Mudkip was because at the time, I had no idea that axolotls existed. Honestly, I thought it was a mud skipper because the name made sense, but ugh. Luckily, Mudkip was very useful in every playthrough, being bulkier than I had anticipated and covering a lot of weaknesses my other team members had. Remember that pattern I told you about before? I think it's becoming clear now. Piplup is yet another water starter in my S tier. It was my first pick in Sinnoh, with no thought whatsoever being given to the other two. I love penguins. Piplup is a penguin. That's it. Okay. So I picked Piplup for a very basic reason. Gen 4 was a time where information on the internet was being shared quickly and people were already pre-building teams based on the leaked information. Yet I based mine on a personal preference. Did I regret it? Well, Piplup is on my S tier, so you tell me. It's adorable, it's cool, I love its colors and the design giving it sort of a fancy dress cape. I absolutely love it. A lot of people hate Oshawott because it looks weird. Some of my friends have told me it looks like a little old man. A lot of people hate Oshawott in the anime because it's kind of annoying. I find otters extremely cute. They're basically river doggos. Sure, Oshawa doesn't look like a traditional otter, but I think its design is quite cool. He uses his little shell as a weapon, his tiny ears are too cute, and he's a water type. If you haven't caught up yet, I tend to love my water starters. Chespin was my first ever grass starter. Let that sink in. My first grass starter in 2013. 14 years after I started playing Pokemon. You know, sometimes you just have this love at first sight situation, and Chespin was that for me. As soon as I saw the little chestnut Pokemon, I knew it was my pick. Clemon's Chespin was absolutely lovable in the anime. He was funny, badass, he was silly, cute. I honestly love everything about Chespin. Not to mention the attacks he learns in game are very varied and can carry you through the first few gyms and Kalos all by itself. Moving down to the A tier, we start off with Bulbasaur, my second pick for a Kanto playthrough. Bulbasaur's design is pretty original, giving it a small seedling to make this Dino Frog have a link to its type. It's absolutely adorable, even more so in the Detective Pikachu movie. Bulbasaur is perfect for a chill Kanto playthrough since it can do well against mostly everything up to the 5th gym. Totodile is honestly pretty cool. He was awesome in the anime and he brought the energy to the episodes when they needed it most. My second playthrough of Gen 2 was with Totodile, as I wanted to try playing with a water starter again. He was basically a second Squirtle to me, and that's why he's in this tier. I really like Trico. He's cool, he's really good in the games, and Ash's Trico in the anime basically carried his team through the season. I'm currently playing Emerald for the first time. Yes, I played Sapphire, I played Alpha Sapphire, but I have never played Emerald. Gen 3 was a weird time for children in the 90s. Anyway, back on track. I'm currently playing an Emerald Grass Monotype run on my off time, and Trico is putting in the finest of work. I like its design and his portrayal in the anime. So Chimchar is a fan favorite and I really like it a lot. I enjoy its design and its uniqueness in Gen 4 as the only usable fire type, and that really made it a solid pick for anyone. It could also carry you through the first 2 gyms, providing you evolved it. Chimchar's an all-around great starter pick, but it gets better as it evolves, which is why it is in a higher tier. Scorbunny is in the A tier because, as of now, it's my favorite Gen 8 starter. I have no idea what it'll evolve into, probably another firefighting, but as long as its design is cool, I'll be happy with my choice. I really like its energy and its design, and I have really high hopes for it once Sword and Shield come out later this year. The B tier, the average tier, the I don't love it but I also don't hate it tier. Chikorita is adorable. I know I have used that word a lot in this video, but it's honestly how I describe most of these starters. Sadly, it's not very good in the generation it was introduced on. The defensive approach taken for Chikorita made it really slow gameplay wise, and even if it got a few attacks either by TM or level up, it still didn't put out enough damage to matter more than other members in your team, which could take down a Pokemon before taking a hit. I love Chikorita, it's an absolute sweetheart in the anime, but it just doesn't do much in the game. Torchic is kind of boring to me, which is kind of hypocritical because I praised some other simple designs previously. It's cute and its attacking animation makes me feel warm inside. Maybe I just haven't used it enough, but Torchic has always been a third pick for me in Hoenn. Turtwig is kinda complicated for me. I like its design, the little twig on its head is cute, but when it comes to choosing a starter in Sinnoh, it falls short of the other two. Don't get me wrong, I have played with Torterra before, but that's for a future video. Turtwig just doesn't have that extra something I'm looking for in my starters. Gen 5 brought about a very divisive set of starters, but Tepig is usually at the bottom. Not for me though. Tepig is a small, precious piglet who deserves more love. It has a good design, but it sadly goes away a few levels into training it, so that's why it's in the average tier. Rowlet is a precious boy that must be protected at all costs. But that's about it. I like Rowlet, the memes were pretty funny, the little bow tie is pretty cool, but that's where it ends. Rowlet is just step 1 in the road to greater things. Litten is a cat. I'm a cat guy. Litten is a fire cat, which makes it cooler? Hotter? I like Litten. The attack animation where he just gets into an aggressive position and his back hair stands up, all intimidating, is honestly pretty cool. But that's it for Litten. It's just a fire cat, and I like fire cats. It's just so sad. I like Sobble's design, but I don't want to carry around a crying little child through my adventures. It is pretty cute though, and I'm honestly very excited to see what its evolutions are gonna be, so that's why I'm sticking it in this tier. Now we're below the average line. This is where the fans will crucify me in the Hearthome Church. But here we go. To me, Froakie is kind of boring. I don't know why, because I kinda like its design, but it didn't have that same energy Chespin had. To me, Froakie was just a frog. It was the first Pokemon Ash caught in Kalos, so I guess I just passed it off as another fan favorite who will get way more attention than I would like to. Fennekin was kind of the opposite. It's cute, and Serena's Fennekin in the anime is one of the best Pokemon ever, and I fell in love with it after its first loss in a contest. There were other cooler fire types I wanted to try out on Kalos though, so Fennekin just never held my interest for very long. Yet another cute but meh Pokemon for me. Poplio was going to be my first pick in Sun and Moon to keep it in theme with my water starter obsession, but over time that interest dwindled down and Rowlet took the spotlight for me. It's a fine starter, it's just nothing special to me. Grookey for me feels like the weakest design for the Gen 8 starters. Don't get me wrong, it's a great design, but I like all three. It's just that I like Grookey's design a little less than the other two. I spent a lot of time thinking about the Galar starters and what they might evolve into, and Grookey just made me think of a drumming monkey, and that just shifted my mind to Donkey Konga, and that's a place I don't want to be. And now every possible new sub I could have gotten is instead writing hate comments on this video, but we made it to the D tier. In the D tier I have Charmander. I don't like Charmander. A lot of the anime's attention went to it because it was a fan favorite. If people complain because there's too much Kanto pandering by Game Freak, I can add a little extra amount of pandering for Charmander. People love it, it doesn't need any more attention, which is why I'll just stop talking about it. Snivy's design is just weird to me. Is it a snake? Then why does it have legs? Is it just a weird gecko looking thing? I don't know! It's just kind of unbearable in the anime too. It's so smug and it just... it's just a Pokemon that doesn't click with me. That's it for the list, trainers. I hope you enjoyed, and remember, these are just my opinions. You can agree or disagree with me or anyone else, as long as you treat everyone with respect, because your favorite Pokemon might be their least favorite. So please, if you want, write down your own list in the comments below and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. Next time we'll be taking a look at the usually awkward middle stage evolutions, so be on the lookout for that and click the bell icon so you get notified as soon as the video is up. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you later, trainers.